Good morning and welcome back to Withrow Urban Homestead. Today it's time for a Madagascar periwinkle update. In mid-May, I planted them out several different ways in several locations. This is my first time growing Madagascar periwinkle, and I picked it because I wanted a drought and heat-tolerant, pest-resistant, easy-to-grow flower for my son's memorial garden. So we're going to go ahead and start over there. This morning on our morning walk, I videoed because I want to show you what it looks like to grow these with very little care. Then we'll come back and see how they're growing here at home. Now I wanted to show you an example of how heat and drought tolerant these flowers are. We planted them mid-May. Same time as the ones we planted at the house. Now, it did rain, and that took care of watering them in for me, and then it turned cold, and they struggled. May was a cold month, but then when the warm weather hit, they started growing and flowering, and you can see how well they've done. I haven't come to water or feed them. This is really, really poor soil and very shallow. This soil is full of tree roots from an old tree that used to be here. But still, they're doing well, and I think they look good. Now here along the side of the house, we planted them in a variety of containers. Some made of clay, which dry out quickly, and some made of plastic, which hold in water. Some containers are bigger like these, and some are tiny. Now this is a good example. If you give them more soil, they're going to grow bigger and better and have more flowers. Now I do water these if they dry out, but the ones in the plastic don't need watering every day. But I do feed them once a month. Now, periwinkle like full sun. And here on the side of the house, they only get 2 hours of sun a day. Plus, in the green stalks, they get even less. Because sometimes they're turned towards the back. Because every day I turn the green stalks a quarter turn. So they don't get 2 hours of direct sun every day. Plus, the lower tiers, they're more shaded from the higher up plants. Especially over there, the creeping Jenny is really shaded, the periwinkle. But they all have flowers. They're small, but they are flowering. They tend to have one flower on each plant. I do water the green stalk every day, not that specific pocket. And I do fertilize once a month. Now in this area, they get the 2 hours of sunlight a day. And that seems to be enough to make them bloom. Now you notice the smaller pots, the plants are smaller and have less flowers, and the bigger pots, the plants are larger and have more flowers. Now these two are plastic. All the others in this area are clay. The plastic's done better. I was concerned it would hold too much water because they don't like their feet wet. But because they're small, they dry out faster. There's a few things I haven't yet mentioned. I like that they deadhead themselves. I don't have to remove old flowers. Look, right here. Here's a good example. The flowers just fall off themselves. Now, since this is my first time growing them, what have I learned? Well, number one, they do not like the cold. Mid-May, I planted them the same time as my peppers and tomatoes, but we were still having nights in the 50s, and the periwinkle do not like that. Now, what does that look like? Well, yellowing leaves and no growth. They didn't die, but the leaves were very yellow. And I had been wondering, am I overwatering them, overfeeding them? But no, it was simply too cold. Next time I grow them, I'm going to wait and plant them later. Now, secondly, if you notice out at the memorial garden, I would plant them closer together. I don't remember the spacing that I used. I'd have to check my notes, but I would definitely put them closer together and a double row. Now, if I went every week and watered and fed them once a month, I assume they would grow bigger. But you have to hand carry water from the faucet, and that's just too hard on my arthritis. I'm satisfied with their growth, but I definitely would like them closer together. Now, how much will they grow this month in August? We'll see. We'll come back for an update. Now, these marigolds are done. They have outgrown these pots. So I'm going to transfer them to the in-ground garden. Then I'm going to take all of these Madagascar periwinkles down to the memorial garden and fill in those gaps. If you notice, the front row, which were the hot pink, the heat wave raspberry, they get more sun, so they're bigger. And the ones behind is heat wave apricot. They're smaller because there's less sun in the back. So I'm going to put these out there and give them a new home. And then this area will be clear, and it's going to give me less to water because lately there's been no rain. Thank you for visiting Withrow Urban Homestead. See you later. Bye-bye.